Let's start with a moment of absolute honesty. How many of you here, when someone asks you the simple question, what do you do? You feel this sudden tightening in your chest and you feel heavy, you feel reluctant to answer a simple question. That's what we think, right? But the reality is you froze because you do not have one neat corporate title to tell them, to show them. You freeze because there's this so called gap or pause on your resume. Or you may currently having a business and you choose not to scale because of various reason, right? Or just a simply a or just simply a season of choosing survival over ambition. See, for decades we have been sold a massive lie. We have been taught that a successful life and successful career must look like a straight line. That's why we call it career ladder, right? We assume that it must go onwards and upwards in a straight line, and it must look like this uninterrupted line as if there's no challenges in our life. What we were told? We were told to study, get a job, climb the ladder, and keep on performing. So I'm here to just unpack that to you and just let you know that your gap was never empty, was not empty. In fact, it was just undocumented. So, a little bit about me. My name is Anubama Ramachandra. I'm a trainer, consultant, doctoral researcher that research this exact topic. This is a passion topic for me, a topic of interest. And I've also authored a book called Life Isn't Linear, so why should our career be? Especially to deal with non-linear life and career. Right. Let's just move on. I'm pretty sure you can Google me and find out more about me. But yes, my philosophy or my ideology is that what happens when women are expected to grow and scale all the time, but the world or everyone around them do not actually see the burden, the challenges, and the boulder that they have to face literally all the time. So that was my question here. In the beginning I told you that the gap is not empty, it's just not documented, right? So I'm here to say that a career gap here does you do not mistaken career gap being not capable, as being not capable. A career gap here is not a capability gap. That means it doesn't mean that you're not capable. Definitely you're still capable, you still have the skills, you still have the knowledge, you know. It's just documented as such or non-documented as such, making you feel that there's a hole in your resume, right, or in your career life. See, when there's a gap, the gap should not lead your life story. The value that you have created during the career gap is where you need to put forth. And how to do this? How to do this? This is where I'm coming in. How to transform your values that you have endured, that you have honed, that you have developed during that career gap, and how to actually extract those evidence and put it out there, whether in your resume or whether it is during your interview, or whether it's just going to help you gain more confidence. Definitely when you can see those evidence, your confidence itself will become um, much more easier to be embedded in you. See, maybe you have had your career gap or pause in your career because you had to care for your parents. Maybe we had a severe burnout and we have to take few months to just get back to ourselves, right? And we think we have nothing on paper to show that particular gap or that version of ourselves that we have created, right? Here's the belief I want you to try for the next 15 to 20 minutes, right, of this preview session. A career gap is not a capability gap. and remind yourself that a career gap is not a capability gap. The two get treated as if they are the same thing, right? Hiring managers, when they see a gap on the resume, they immediately assume that we we are not capable during that time frame, right? Or don't even talk about hiring manager. Let's just talk about our own self. Sometimes we, um, our own voices in our own head that fills that particular gap with shame. Um, it may tell you that there's a gap, but what it doesn't tell you, what the paper doesn't tell you, is what you are actually capable of, what you have endured, what you have honed during that period. The story that usually wins is the version, right? Is the part that we shame ourselves, right? That, oh, I wasn't working, I only stayed at home, I have nothing to show on my resume. So here I am trying to get you or offer you to look at it in a more accurate version of what truly happened, right, during those gaps. The evidence inside that, when you extract those evidence, it needs its own language, completely different sentence and nothing to do with shame, right? And we are going to unpack that, we are going to touch base on that on, and we are going to really look into how you could do that, right, in this previous session. So when I first start to use this word, right, it caused a lot of resistance to my clients, because they'll be like, what is that? What does that even mean, right? So I use a word in my program called non-jobs. See, a non-job is any season or any time frame, or that wasn't formal paid employment, that you choose not to write on your resume, and you could not write it in a traditional resume, but still required real capability, knowledge, skills from you. For example, caregiving, managing a household, recovering from a burnout, relocating and rebuilding your life from scratch. You have to network and meet new people in your life, right? A business attempt that you have tried but paused, or you couldn't take off, or you couldn't scale for any reason. Supporting a community, or taking a time off to support someone in need, for example, right? And these are not formal jobs. So what are the names or terms that we can use it other than non-jobs, right? However, I'm here to say that although there's no title and no salary attached, doesn't mean that you are not doing the job, you're not doing the task associated with those non-jobs. Yes, none of that shows in our traditional resume, but all of it required something from you. So that's the ultimate truth that no one can deny, right? So here's the piece that trips most people up, and I want to name it directly, right? So the evidence from this season is usually hidden. So it's hidden. It's, I wouldn't say it's not there. Definitely it's there, but it's just hidden. It's buried, and you don't pay attention to it. Um, because maybe because it's unpaid, because it's somehow expected from you, or it contains some emotional um, attachment that you don't look at it as a job, right? And definitely no one hands you a performance review, right? If you're you took a time off to take care of your sick parent, no one will be like, hey, Siti, here is your performance review at the end of the year. No, definitely no, not. It's a very lonely non-job. You probably need to tap your shoulder on your own, and you require a lot of resilience to go through it, right? So you still have to utilize every single skill set that probably you will use in a normal job, right? So let's say coordination, crisis management, negotiation, it just, you have utilized that in your non-jobs, but nobody wrote it down, not even you. Definitely you didn't write it down, what are your day-to-day tasks. So that's the actual problem you're solving, not The question of did the capability exist? It definitely does. It definitely did. The problem is that it was never ever documented in a language or extracted with the evidence needed to uh, give you confidence that you outside, it gives you confidence that, hey, I've actually done that kind of feel. So I've told something about extracting evidence from non-jobs. So I'm going to give you like a tool that I like to use. So you can write it down or you can just snapshot, up to you. The formula is quite simple, right? We have to come up with the context first. Then we move into the responsibility associated with the context. The actions that we took in regards of the responsibility, the skills that are needed in regards to the action, and definitely with those things, what are the value added for yourself and the person uh, that is associated with that particular task or context. Then we slowly change it into a career language. So this is the exact sequence used inside the full session, right? Today you get the gist of it, the idea of it, but how exactly you want to do it? There are many examples in my book and in my session, but today um, I will just give you a gist of it so that you can somehow imagine how you're going to change the context into a career language. Right. See, I'm sure many of us have heard woman saying this, right? Oh, I just stayed at home to take care of my kids. And according to them, they've never done, I mean, it shouldn't be documented in their resume. It shouldn't be portrayed as a job. It should not be, I mean, how do I even tell my potential employer that this is what I did, taking care of my kids? I mean, they probably will laugh at me. But now, when someone tell me, right, I was just at home with my children, I just took off my kid, I didn't do anything else, right? I never let that sentence stand as the final answer, because I feel that it's not specific enough, because that is so general and there's the context too big. We can definitely hone a lot of tasks and skills from inside that context itself. So I'll ask them a follow-up question like, so what were you actually responsible of day to day? Not the general idea, but literally let's go into the specific. And now here we have to be really careful. I'm not asking you to list down every single task that you have taken on as a caregiver. I will need you to really skim through and select just a couple or three skill set that you have really utilized in your non-job career, right? So, for example, school routines, medical appointment, budgeting, budgeting from scratch, managing everyone's schedule against each other. And next, ask yourself, what did that require of you? What kind of skills needed? What kind of action and skill needed from you in order to do those tasks, right? Do those responsibility. For example, fast decision making or agility, right? Staying calm when something went wrong, resilience. So this kind of, I want you to extract those skill set from the responsibility that you have done during those, uh, how to say it, career gaps. And the best part I like to add on, and I like to ask them is that now, when you're managing it, what else changed? I'm sure during those time, you would have done some process improvement. So, what are those process improvement that you have done, right? Maybe you have done certain risk assessment or risk management before a particular crisis happened, right? So you knew exactly, okay, probably this is what going to happen. So I'm preparing myself with this. For example, when you're scheduling your children for their sports day, you have prepared the band-aid, the first aid kit, mini first aid kit in your bag, because if anything happen at all, I'm very much prepared. So that is risk assessment, that is risk management, y'all. So now, um when you really look at it after you have sit down and written down what are the action taken, what are the skills needed, what are the value that it's added, that then it is a good time for us to transform that into a career language. So what I will do, I mean, if you are in my session or if you read my book, you will understand how to transform um, those into career language. In fact, you can even use AI to do this lah, right? You can actually you may suddenly see your task as manage daily routines, learning support, household logistics, and emotional care during a high responsibility family season. Okay, strengthening planning, prioritization, communication, and agility. Right. So when you look at that task, now you will realize one thing. Oh, same task, same season, same woman, but completely different sentence. So notice what happened here. We didn't exaggerate anything. We didn't lie. We didn't hide. In fact, we only extracted the evidence that you have done. So it's truly you. There's no exaggeration here. So I want to slow down on one thing because it is easy to treat this as a total writing exercise, but it is not a writing exercise, but it's more towards like telling the truth exercise, right? This is where we have to change or transform the shame into empowerment. So that's what we are doing now. Shame tells a very compressed story. Oh, I fell behind because of my gap. I only did this, I just did that. So it's compressed because it skips everything that you do during your career gap and jumps straight into the verdict, right? But the more accurate or more honest and truthful story is the one that um, you acknowledge the gap, but you still extract the evidence from within the career gap. And there's nothing to apologize for because it is a gap that you took for various reasons, right? And this matters because the sentence you carry about your own gap is the most important. It's usually the sentence that you will repeat in an interview when you're talking to people, in a client page, in a normal day-to-day conversation, right? So when you start to reframe, this is what we call as reframe, right? So reframe, you you realize that now you are no longer using the same shame language. You are using a more empowered language. And you have to understand here is that when there's a career gap, career pause, you are not behind, but you are just being non-linear. And isn't it human to be non-linear? Because life itself is non-linear. So I have developed something I call as the reclaim method, which contains 7 steps. But I will cover this in my 6 sessions of coaching. Right. The first step will be reframe the transition and extract the evidence. This will be covered in the first session. The third step would be clarify what fits now. Fourth would be linking gap into growth. Fifth will be align our identity and direction. Six is initiate visibility. This will be more into personal branding. And seven, move with strategy. This will be a 30 days plan, which I will hand over at the end of our career coaching session, right? So I will hand over this 30 days plan and we will definitely keep in touch via WhatsApp or emails on our progress. So what I covered just now mostly was the reframe method, how you would reframe those transition, how do you reframe or think about your own career gap, right? How you turn the shame into empowerment, how do you reword things differently, how do you change your language when you're talking to people. And I'm reiterating again that that language matters because this is the language that you speak to yourself, and eventually this is the language that you will speak to others. So how you're viewing your career gap itself is very important, right? So, as I said today, I've covered a little bit about reframe method and a start of extracting the evidence, which is the second step, right? We didn't cover all definitely because in my session, I usually will have workbooks, homework, etc. So at least this will give you a general idea um, how my session or coaching will be, right? So inside the inside the full non-linear woman lab, which is a 6 week coaching session, right? Each session will take around 1.5 hours, and it includes um, workbook exercises, discussion, and also homework, right? We will take this particular extraction process across every non-job season you have lived. So sometimes we do not have one gap, we may have multiple. So during my coaching session, we will walk through each and everything. I will provide you the book for reference as well. So this is something that you will get extra as my how to say it, uh, as my coachee, if that's such word, right? My coaching participant. And we will build a complete evidence bank, and I will have workbook for this. I'll have a workbook where you can sit down and change your evidence using those evidence bank. I will also give you an evidence map and value added phrases you can put directly into your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and in your and during your interview. Definitely that this will also not be like a one-off session. It will definitely be a two-way conversation. I will allow you to share your ideas to me as well, and I'll also have a WhatsApp group specifically to discuss on um, follow-up, homeworks, workbook, etc. Now, I'm not going to run definitely the full workbook with you here. So that's the part I've built for the woman who actually who joined the actual 6 weeks program. But I really want you to leave the lesson with something really important and usable and real that you can resonate with, which is this particular preview. So this is not really just a preview for the sake of preview. I've actually covered a very big chunk of the reframe the transition, the first step, which is the most foundational step of it all. So I hope this was really useful for you, right? So here is what I would like you to do today in the next few minutes after the session. Take one non-job season from your own life, just one, okay, and write down two things: what you were responsible for, what changed because of it, and that's it. You do not have to write like one whole essay about it, and you don't have to write a polished sentence yet. Just put the raw material down, because that will make you to really look at your gap differently, right? And if this way of thinking, guys, have made you excel a little and make you feel relieved a little, I'm very very happy. If you're ready to go further than this, just this one example, you will find details on how to join the non-linear woman lab in my bio. You can also contact me. You also can DM me. I've also put my website there, so you can have a look at my book in Amazon as well. So feel free to contact me, or subscribe, comment, and let me know how do you feel about this video. So definitely this video would not be the only video I'll be posting. Please subscribe, because I will definitely be posting more videos on this topic. And remember, your gap was not empty, it was undocumented. So let's go and start documenting it. Thank you very much. I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you.